Good evening, everybody. We are back. It's Sunday night at 7 o'clock, WOSFL Weekly. I'm your host, Jonny Bailey. Delighted to be joined as ever. Well, not as ever, but my bi-weekly partner, PG. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
I'm just thinking, I hope my missus downstairs doesn't hear me referring to you as my bi-weekly partner. We might get
all right. Not great result for us yesterday, and then
I know, but was it really though? Were you
losing the day
really?
doesn't help. And
Were you
then
having? Was it one of the ones yesterday where you're actually cheering under your jacket because it
it
was
was
support?
funny. Ronnie McDonald on our coaching staff after the game was winding us up, and he's like, "The manager, aye, Dom, I know you saw Paul celebrating when the Port scored, didn't you?" I was like, "Nah, it was."
Right,
It was
we're
what
all
it
right.
was.
We're all right.
Aye.
Listen, it's good to have you again. Apologies for last week. I was the missus dropped a hammer on me and reminded me that she was going to a wedding fair on Sunday and wasn't going to be back in time because she was going out for dinner. So bad Johnny. Apologies, PG letting the side down.
See, to be fair, mate, there was hardly any games on anyway. It was the best week it could have happened.
I know, mate. I know. Thankfully, Jack Frost done me a favour, so I don't know. It's I've maybe sold my soul to Jack Frost. He's maybe going to come looking for me. I don't know what's going to happen. Some would say it's maybe already happened, all the bad stuff. But anyway, if you're watching us, good to see people checking in already. As always, get in touch with us. Give us your comments, questions, anything you want to share. Loads of league games. I think there was only 3 cup games across the whole region yesterday, and the rest were all league games. So loads of ramifications across the board. So please let us know your thoughts on your team and how things are going so far. With a couple of managerial changes as well over the weekend, which we'll come on to and we'll touch on in due course. But as ever, if there's anything that we don't know about, then please educate us in the chat if you can. If you're watching us live, please hit the like button on YouTube and subscribe to the Pyramid Promotions channel. Again, much appreciated. And if you're listening in audio form, then download the episode, rate and review on your podcast networks. We are sponsored by Roxburgh Insurance Brokers, by GLA Chauffeurs, and of course the legends at VSN Sport. Right, PG, do we want to get the cup games out the way?
Let's get the cup out the way. Aye.
Right, Johnston Borough go to Dundee Violet and win 1-0, which is good. Largs Thistle travel to a camel trek up to Fraserburgh and beat them 3-0. So both teams through to the quarter-finals, I think, of the Scottish Communities Cup. So good for the region to see guys, both Johnston Borough and Largs getting through.
Aye. Results you'd expect, but they had to go and get the job done. Both travelling away, both clean sheets as well, which is good to see. So not much else to add to that other than good results, and that's them in the next round, and it'll be interesting. Do you know when the draw's going to be made?
Do you know something? I don't. Maybe if Kenny's checking in, I'm sure he'll let us know. I was speaking to Richard Henderson for the Scottish Communities FA earlier on today, and I could have asked him because he was kind of outlining. He was telling me that they're going for the two-legged semis again this year in the Communities Cup. So as soon as the quarter-finals are played, they're going to do the draw, the semi-final draw with the 4 managers present and stuff like that. Try and make a big deal about it. So. All good. I just hope Johnston Borough managed to find somebody to hang the kit up in Dundee.
Oh, I heard about what happened with Dale. It's not nice.
Oh, do you know him? Do you know?
I know Dale, aye.
Do you? Right, okay.
Aye,
some
it
carry on.
Was particularly nice.
I know. It's some carry on. It's funny. I was talking to Greg Mitchell at Johnston Borough, and he was saying that they go to Dundee Violet to get into the quarterfinals of the Scottish Cup, and then they play Auchinleck on Wednesday night, first game under the lights. 2 massive games. It's really going to have an impact in their season, and all MDs want to talk to them about is a kit man. Do you know what I mean? So
as a scanting.
I know, but good result for both teams. And I don't know, do you want to touch on the Auchinleck Johnston Borough game in midweek while we're on Johnston Borough?
Well, why don't we talk about it? Is that one of the many cup games, or is that a league game? I've literally been.
It's a league game.
It's a game. We'll talk about it when we're on the league then.
I know it's a massive game on Wednesday night, so should get us all along.
I can't. I've got training on Wednesday.
Oh, use the Monday Wednesdays.
Aye.
What's your thoughts on Monday Wednesday? I don't like Monday Wednesday, but I've always done Monday Wednesday, but I've always felt that Monday's too close to Monday's too close to the Saturday before, and Wednesday's too far away for the Saturday coming.
Do you know what I think? And I know a lot of players would disagree with me, but they'd be wrong. See a Monday, Wednesday. Monday should be your easier night, and Wednesday should be your hard night. Like it's always, everybody's always just done a Monday's your running night, and that's how you end up with a Monday club. But see if players moan about doing hard work on a Wednesday, you have days and days to recover before a game on Saturday. So that's to me when your hard work should be done. But aye,
because I remember going back years ago, when we were in full time. So we'd obviously play 3 o'clock on a Saturday, and we would have a really, really hard double session on a Thursday.
Aye,
and it was never even thought about that we wouldn't do because we were usually off on the Wednesday, so we would come in and we would get a doing on the Thursday. We'd run in the morning, and then we would go out again and do a really intense possession games, whatever, something like that in the afternoon. So
there's plenty of time to recover.
But I just think, definitely. But you can't really give them and the thing is, you give them a hard session on a Monday. It's only 48 hours after a game. Maybe a few boys
you're not ready. You're not recovered
on the Sunday, and it's no for me. But anyway, as I said, it's what I've always done, which is weird. But anyway, a wee digression there, right into Premier League. Auchinleck beat Beath 1-0, and then also affecting at the top of the table, Cumnock go to Troon and beat them 1-0. We had Now Ayrshire Radio, we had Evan up at the Cumnock Troon game, and I don't think it was much of a game. I think both teams just kind of cancelled each other out, and Cumnock managed to sneak the victory. But a really good victory for them, going away to Troon and coming away with a win.
Great victory for them, put them into second in the league. Troon, I'm just looking at recent results. Obviously lost yesterday, lost to Arthurlie 3-0 a couple of weeks ago. Beat Kilwinning, edged by shots, edged by Renfrew, beat Beath in penalties, lost to the Borough, lost to the Bens. They've not been in a great run of form, and it's not the form you need if you want to go and win the league. And obviously with Talbot getting the late winner yesterday against Beath is massive for the fact that they're only 8 points behind with 5 games in hand. So Troon, I think, have potentially blown any chance they have a win in the league. I think that yesterday
losing 5 games is too much.
Aye, well, you look at the Scottish Premier League. No team has ever won the league by losing more than 5 games, and that is a longer season than this. I don't think that you can afford to lose 5, 6, 7 games and win the league. So I'd say that it's not completely done for them, but you're now at the stage where they cannot have any other slip-ups. If they do, then it's completely gone for them.
Aye. And then we've got Auchinleck who are in action, as we said, on Wednesday at Johnston Borough, and then both sides are idle again on Saturday. Well, not idle, but they're both in cup action next Saturday. So Auchinleck will be looking to Wednesday night to close the gap even closer to the guys at the top. But what about Cumnock, though? We word on Cumnock, PG?
Brilliant. It's I've said for the last few years, I think that Cumnock have been not achieving what they probably should do. They've invested heavily in that squad. It's taken a bit of time, but it looks like they're starting to get there now. And they were talking about last year being their highest finish in the Premier, since it's been redone. And even in 7th, that's probably not good enough for Cumnock. That should be a bad year for Cumnock, not the best year. And I think that they're definitely moving in the right direction. And potentially, if they win their game in hand, they're only 3 points behind Troon, played the same games. Again, I don't think Cumnock will win the league. They've only won 10 out of 17, but they've absolutely guaranteed promotion in my eyes. I think that they're going to seal that within the next 3 or 4 weeks. So, it's a really good result for them, and they seem to be going in the right direction now.
It's funny because about 3 weeks ago we were talking about the gap at the top, being quite concerning for Auchinleck, and it's just amazing how quickly things change in football, isn't it?
I know, and that's what I was going to say.
Guys are talking about Jordan Longmuir played for Auchinleck on Saturday. I don't know if that was an injury to Willie Muir or whatever, but it's good to have a quality backup like Jordan to come in, masses of experience to come in and keep a clean sheet. You can see why I know they only brought him in a short-term deal, but you can see why when he can step in that kind of notice.
Jordan's a cracking goalkeeper, even though he may be a wee bit older now, but He's definitely a good goalkeeper, lots of experience. I know when he played with Pollock, they never really won anything, but it's a big club with pressure on you at this level. So it's something that he's obviously used to and something he can handle. And it's a great for him to get a clean sheet as well. But for Beith, I actually feel for Beith a wee bit because even though they're having a really hard season, they seem to be picking up a wee bit. Unlucky not to get in yesterday. I know they lost to Hurlford a couple of weeks ago, but they beat St Cadoc's, beat Arthurlie. They're kind of looking like they're picking up a wee bit as well, beating Shots in the league before that day. So they've kind of looking like they're maybe improving, and Mick's possibly just got his team playing the way that he wants them to play now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks as if they're starting to make progress. Glenafton pick up a much-needed win against St Cadoc's, who Gary Muir left St Cadoc's during the week, and Chris Wilson from Dalry is going in there as the new manager. So
is that right?
That's right. Yeah, it was announced just late last night. So, and the two existing coaches, apologies, I've forgot their name. I seen it on X that were at Dalry are going to take over as managers at Dalry.
That'll be Graham. That'll be Graham that'll be taking over then.
Graham and another gentleman.
I'm not sure.
But good. Interesting, Chris, getting in there. We've often said about managers, the quality of managers in the lower leagues getting opportunities in the top division. So fingers crossed he goes up there and does well.
What do you think? What do you think of Chris taking that? I think, like, for them, that's a decent appointment. Chris knows the level really well. But what do you think for him? I'm not sure that's the right job for him to take. I appreciate it's a Premier League job and you're jumping up a few divisions, but I don't know if that's the right job.
I think, like you said, it's an opportunity to go and test himself in the Premier League. He knows there's no relegation this year, so you can really look now, between now and the end of the season, at what you can build into next season. And one of the things that Chris done really well at Dalry was sourcing players and getting players in. And if we know the budgets are going to be a lot less than they were previously at St Cadoc's, then I would imagine that's probably what he's going to try and do, is identify those kind of, I don't know, but I don't say bargain signings, but you know what I mean, those wee kind of rough diamonds that he can go and get to bring in to come and play in the Premier League. But I think sometimes you've got to take an opportunity, though, PG. Do you know what I mean?
I know, and I know it's hard because as it's 3 divisions you're jumping up, and even though the budget won't be what it was before, St Cadoc's has still got a couple of boys who'll be on £100 a week or whatever, so they've still got a wee bit of money there. And see if he can do a good job there, and a good job being win a few games to the end of the season, maybe 3 or 4 games to the end of the season. That's a good job in my eyes. Then it does put you in a shop window potentially for something else. I just feel like St Cadoc's are a club who are on the decline, and unless somebody comes in with money, I don't see how they're going to be able to bounce back.
Aye. One thing I will say about Chris is my dealings with him is he knows what he's very kind of knows what he wants and stuff like that. So I would expect him to have exhausted every kind of avenue in terms of making sure that it's the right club for him to make that jump. So good luck to him. I hope he does really well. But a good win for Glenafton. They badly needed to get.
Definitely. They've obviously had the great start to the season, and then they've just fell away, hardly won. Is that only their second and 12 or something like that, or something like that? A disappointing season for them, and it looks like they're going to miss out on the top 8, which will be disappointing again for them. But on the flip side, they maybe look at it positively and say next season they might be a team who can actually go and try and push to do well in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I know, definitely. Coinnan, I think Coinnan have just got the sign over Drumchapel.
Seems that way.
Craig's just saying there that Buffs have put 12 past them in 2 league games, 8-1 up there, or 8-3 or something up there, 8-2, and then 4-2 at home. So Drumchapel just quite a hard team to predict, aren't they? Like Craig said, they get some good results and then they throw in the odd stinker. So
I think that the squad's probably not get the depth that Hopi would like. When they've got a full squad, they're a good side and they can go and win games and they can beat anybody in the league, to be fair, when they're on it. But I think if they have a couple missing, which I don't know if they did, but if they do, then they're not quite as capable as other teams. A big one for me, Pollock yesterday. Really good result. I know Hurlford haven't been brilliant, but that's a good result for Pollock. The run of form's been really good recently, and they're putting themselves in a great position to try and get into that top 8 now.
I mean, I've put the league table on the screen there for everybody to have a look at. It's up to 5th in the league now.
I know, really, really good turn of form for them, and it's obviously we brought up a couple of weeks ago the stuff after the Scottish Cup game, but 3-1 against Hurlford, 3-0 against St Cadoc's, 2-0 against Glenafton, 4-0 against Glencairn. Granted, they've probably had the easier run out of all the teams in recent weeks, but you still got to go and beat these teams. I mean, they beat Arthley, they beat Beath. Last game they lost in the league was 29th of November to Cumnock. That's a really good run they're on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. Craig's just saying that the committee guys resigned. I did see that he left his position, which I'm not really surprised at. But it's the best way that Maxie can answer them, probably, is just keep winning games and get them in that top 8 spot, to be honest. There's nothing else he can do. Run about else. Renfrew beat Shotts 2-1. Rutherglen beat Arthley 3-2. Arthley kind of flirting with dropping out that top 8. I know it doesn't really matter for Arthley because they can't go up anyway. But they'll still want to finish as high as they can.
Well, the Borough are obviously going to overtake them within the next couple of games. 8 games in hand, only 2 points behind. But Renfrew, I think it's been a really good season for Renfrew. I don't think they'll make the top 8, but as I touched on with Glenafton, we're saying if they don't go up, which they won't, but if they don't go up, then you might be a really competitive side next year. Renfrew could be a team that could be possibly really competitive, and I think that's great for a club like Renfrew they've got a wee bit of money, but they don't have a lot of money, and they're well supported by the local area, and it's just really good for a club like Renfrew to be in and about trying to win trophies and stuff, because I think we know ourselves, it's not the easiest thing to do, but great result for them. What do we think with the Talbot and the Borough game then? What do you think on Wednesday?
Oh, a cracker, I think. It'll be great. I mean, I hope the weather, I don't think the weather's to be great in the run-up to it, to be honest, but...
Is it at Beechwood or Keene?
It's at Keene. It's the first, I think it's the first game under the new lights, aye. So... I'm sure they'll get a cracking crowd. I'm sure it'll be well attended. It'll be a really good atmosphere. I would, if I had to stick my neck on the line, I would sit squarely on the fence and predict a draw.
It's a hard one, isn't it? I always just probably lean towards the Talbot, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Borough were able to get a win, because
you hate Johnston Borough.
Aye, even though I've got a Borough top, but there's a lot of quality in that squad, so I think that they're in for or the fans are in for a right good game on Wednesday night anyway.
It'd be good if you can get out, and Craig's just saying that Auchinleck's knowing great form. Obviously, Johnston Borough coming off the back of a really good win away to Dundee as well. But listen, Auchinleck's one of those teams that I don't really think form matters, to be honest. I don't know about you.
Nah, no, they did just turn it on.
I know, and Craig just mentioning there about with Clydebank falling behind the Lowland League, and Dumbarton getting closer to SPFL 2. There could be 8 places max if Dumbarton come down and Bankies don't go up. So it's going to be really interesting, because you're looking at that right now. So a couple of weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago? I heard on the grapevine that Hurlford are going to be very close. I don't know if they're going to make the license. So I've heard that as it's just a rumour, but I've heard it, and we know Arthley aren't going for it. So you're looking potentially, like, if those teams finish in those top spots, then somebody from underneath is going to jump up.
I know, that is the thing, because we're looking at it and saying, obviously Arthley can't go up. If Hurlford miss out, I'd assume the Borough's going to come in. And now you're looking at maybe a Renfrew or Cowannon being able to sneak in. And it's interesting, but on Clydebank, I know we will be covering the Lowland League next season, but they've just capitulated. It's not great to see, because obviously everybody knows I really like Clydebank and was delighted when they were getting promoted and thought they looked like they had a chance, but it just fell apart. But again, it means that the Lowland League West will be better for having them next season. Actually, I don't really want Dumbarton to get relegated. I know Frank, that's the Dumbarton manager, and I'd want him to do well, but I think it'd be quite interesting having Dumbarton in the West Lowland League next season as well. So it definitely would be quite interesting having, you're looking at Troon, Cumnock, Talbot, Largs, Pollock, the Drum, the Borough, with these Clydebank,
Albion
good teams like that.
Albion Rovers,
Dumbarton. But what a league that'll be next season.
Mm-hmm. Aye, no, definitely. It'd be good. I think, personally, looking at the league, and we'll move on to the first division in a minute, but if I was to look at that league just now, I would say Troon, Cumnock, Talbot, Largs and Johnston Borough are in, and then it's from the rest, personally.
I think that...
I can't see those teams dropping. Johnston Borough picked up enough points, and I can't see the others dropping enough points to get out. And then I think from Pollock, Drumchapel, we'll not count Hurlford, Atherley, you're looking Renfrew, Cowinan. Do you know what I mean? Glenafton could maybe... Glenafton could finish 10th and sneak in, do you know what I mean?
I know. I actually think that the Drum and Pollock, I know the Drum losing yesterday, but I think with Pollock's current form and the quality that the Drum have, I think the two of them are looking like they would be able to hold on.
I would like Pollock to get in, to be fair.
Aye.
Because I think everybody was expecting him to be horrendous this year. And like you said, with the kind of revamp of the squad, nobody had any expectations of them. No. And we know that their support is good and stuff like that, and their history and things like that. So just for that kind of romantic nature of me, then I would like to see Pollock make it.
Aye, and hopefully they can get a wee bit of investment if they do go up as well. Maxie can get a bit of money as well and put it into the squad, because they're clearly doing a good job with a squad that no many has expected them to do great with.
And it'd be interesting to see what happens with Dumbarton if they did come down, for instance, because you're looking does the bottom team in the League Two come down automatically? No, they don't, do they?
No. So it would be the winner of the...
Personally, I don't know, man, because Dumbarton had a 5-point deduction at the start of the season, so the bottom of that league is a bit kind of false in terms of that respect. But for the fact that Edinburgh City have managed to catch them, who had a 15-point deduction, and they can potentially go above them, shows how disappointing I see. Dumbarton's basically thrown away a 10-point lead. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to see what happens at Dumbarton. Obviously, I know Stevie Farrell, the previous manager, pretty well, and I know there was a lot of kind of stuff going on behind the scenes and things like that, but it'll be interesting to see what they do if they do end up in that position where they go for it. Or because would you fancy Dumbarton to beat Bonnyrigg in a playoff?
No chance. No, how Bonnyrigg are playing the now. They look like after a shaky start, they've really turned it around, and they're kind of opposite of Clydebank, really. I don't think
whoever's top of the Highland League, I don't know.
I'm not sure they know either.
Format.
But I don't see teams like Dumbarton being able to get back out of that West Lowland League next season either. I mean, you've seen it so many times that all the teams who have been relegated...
Bonnyrigg are potentially going to be the first, aren't they?
Aye, and it's funny, we don't really consider them, because they're not one of the legacy teams. You know what I mean? So they're a team who have already been in that division and won it. So they've got something about them. I'm actually just looking at the league table just now. There is not one of the, in quotations, legacy teams who are even in the top half of the league. Cowdenbeath are 10th, Berwick are 12th, Albion Rovers 17th, East Stirling 18th. Yeah, I mean, it shows you that these teams deserve to be where they are.
Aye, no, definitely. It'll be interesting to see what happens towards the end of the season. Craig's just saying, was there talk about Alec McDowell for Gartcairn going in at Pollock? You heard anything about that? No?
I've not heard anything about it. I've not spoke to Alec in quite a while either, so I don't know anything about that. That would be... Do you know, I actually think he'd be a good fit for them. I think that would benefit the club. Alec's very business savvy and knows how to bring in money. And he's quite ambitious. You've seen that with Gartcairn. So I think that could be potentially a good thing for Paul if Alec gets it or decides to go in, if that's true.
Yep. Okay, into the first division. Seeing as the game was off, we'll just touch on Ardrossan, Tony McInally going in. Ardrossan, what's your thoughts on that, PG?
I think that it's a decent appointment. Tony's massively experienced at the level, knows it inside out. It's one of the ones, I think it's quite a safe appointment. I think that it's not a bad decision at all for them. It's safe in the sense that you know what you're going to get with Tony. But a part of me would like to have seen a younger manager getting it, a kind of fresher manager, as we talk about. I think we're quite big on promoting through the levels and some of the lower level guys coming into it. But no, it's a good appointment. You know what you're going to get with Tony, so I think that'll be good for them.
Aye, no, we spoke to him on the radio Saturday morning with a quick interview with him, and he was just saying how impressed he was with everything at Ardrossan, the kind of ambitions and the targets and stuff like that. And obviously they're sitting in a good position in the league, although they've played more games than teams run about them. But he's hoping to maybe add a couple of players and then get them into the Premier League, because I think I kind of use the term sleeping giant, which I kind of hate that term, because you've got to earn the right to be important, if that makes sense. But I think if Ardrossan get into the Premier League, then they could potentially go from strength to strength.
Aye, they're a good club. They've obviously got a good infrastructure in place down there, and it is. But it's hard for me to say what you're saying, a sleeping giant, where I look at my whole time involved in this level, and they've been a good team at the lower levels, but never ever going higher than what they are just now. But I think that they're a good side, good club, and
no, you know something, you're absolutely right, mate. Because I remember playing against them when they were in the old district league in Ayrshire, and you're looking about thinking this is a cracking place to come and play football and stuff like that. But they were in the district league. Do you know what I mean? So
a couple of my mates won the district league with them years and years ago, and absolutely loved their time down there. It's a great club. They always speak really fondly of it.
Aye, and Craig's just saying, well, we're on that game particularly. It's funny, we're probably going to spend about 10 minutes talking about a game that wasn't even played. St Rock's putting a statement out saying about Irvine Meadow getting a player sent off and then taking him off. Did you see it? Did you see the statement?
I've not seen it. I've heard about it, obviously.
Right.
But,
so basically, St Rock's are saying that Irvine Meadow player gets shown a second yellow card, and he never gets sent off. And then Jamie done the right thing, in my opinion, and took him off, subbed him off as quickly as he could, and then they finished the game with 11 men. So
I had heard that, I'm not sure who the player was, but he was number 6. He'd been booked, and then the second booking, the referees made a mistake and ticked it off against number 7, and he's just human error. And obviously, see, if I'm Jamie, I'm taking him straight off as well. Right. But I wonder though, because Craig's obviously put on, surely Irvine Meadow can't be punished. It's a referee error. I understand that, but at the same time, the Rock are punished for it.
But is this another similar to what we had with Johnston Borough?
Aye, I think so.
It was Johnston Borough that got docked points, wasn't it? It wasn't. Darvel never got anything because it was.
Aye.
So it was. But again, it's no. I mean, what are Irvine Meadow meant to do? Are they supposed to bring it to the referee's attention and say he should be sent off? Do you know what I mean? So I don't see how Irvine Meadow can be punished, because they've technically not done anything wrong.
Nah.
You know, like, you can look at the Johnston Borough incident and say that Johnston Borough broke the rules by bringing on a 6th sub. Irvine Meadow haven't broken the rules by not letting the referee send this man off. So unless there is something in the rule book that I don't know, but for me it's just a referee's error, and it leaves a horrible taste in the mouth of St Rock's, because that was probably their last chance at getting up to challenge for the league. But I don't see any comeback if at all. It's going to result in them getting points or getting points taken off.
Aye, it's the 15 back. I know they've got 3 in hand, but I don't see them being able to catch the Med. The Med are looking like they're too far ahead. But I actually looking at Rob Roy yesterday. I'm not surprised them beating Gartcairn, because everybody's going to beat Gartcairn just now. But didn't realise that Rob Roy had got himself into 3rd place. Quite interesting looking at that group. I know, again, Gartcairn are included in it. But 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th are all sitting on 27 points. It's really, really tight. Again, the Med are just too far away, but it's going to be really interesting to see who can come out on top of that wee mini battle they're having there.
I think for me, your Cup beating Darvel 1-0, that's Darvel 2 defeats on the bounce for Nacho after such a good start. But this is probably where he's going to make his money, if that makes sense, when they have a wee sticky patch. They had that initial manager bounce.
Players revert back to type as well.
Aye, so that would have been an interesting one to find out how that game played out up there. But good result for Muircup, because I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit unfair to Muircup, but I always associate them with more exciting games than a 1-0 win. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe Ross is happy with that.
Well, we've got a comment here saying the Muircup and Darvel game doesn't reflect the scoreline. Darvel keeper had saved 10 or so good saves. So maybe it sounds like it's a bit of doing they've taken, but the keepers spared their blushes a bit.
Aye. No, but great result from Muircup. They just need to, I suppose, try and get themselves back into contention and get caught up with all these league games that they've kind of fell behind a wee bit now, don't they?
Aye. It's just one of the things that happens, isn't it? But I think that you're looking at Muircup have got a real good chance of making that top 8 spot. But do you know the result yesterday for me that it sticks out as well was Kilbirnie beating Nielsen. Nielsen, who we've waxed lyrical at times on the show, and now they're sitting in 11th place. They're really struggling. They only get wins or draws. Wins or defeats. They don't get any draws. That's seven wins and 9 defeats. Kilbirnie now putting themselves in a position where they might be able to get themselves into that top 8, and because they're only a point away from it. Their goal difference away from it. It's really, really tight. Even getting down to Thornleywood in 12th place, they've got 3 or 4 games in hand on some of the teams about them. 2 or 3 wins in there, and that's another team. This is going to be really tight to see who can make that top 8.
Aye, I mean, if you look at the form table, actually, so I'm not going to take credit for this. I saw it in one of the Kilbirnie pages on social media that over the last 6, they're sitting 3rd in the form table, so they're going in the right direction. And I think Colin's made a lot of signings. Like, there's been a lot of movement. Seems to be every week there's players leaving, players coming in, stuff like that. So he's maybe just taking a wee bit of time to settle his squad down, and now he can start taking a drive towards that top 8 spot.
Let's be honest, we know Collins is a good manager. He's proven that before. And then you've got Anson in with you as well, who has been about this level for about 400 years and knows absolutely everybody. So it's great experience to have in with you. But he's done a really, really good job.
What about Lanark beating Thornleywood, PG? That's a
good result. Lanark done really well.
See, you're talking about the form table. Interestingly, Thornleywood sitting second bottom, and if you look at the last 6 league games, which is not probably where we would have associated them to be. That's no wins in 5, 1 in 6. For a team that we both thought would be up the top end of the league challenging. And I know, speaking to Adam, and we had him on the show, that was his ambitions as well.
Aye, it's I'm a bit surprised to see them so far in the league. Lanark, on the other hand, I think that they've done really well. Having to rebuild the squad after Darrow left and took most of their players with him, Les Mahego. They've rebuilt the squad, had a really hard start to the season, and they've picked up a fair bit in the last couple of months, which is nice to see. I mean, only losing 1-0 to Rob Roy. Alright, they took a bit of sore one against the Vale of Clyde a couple of weeks ago, but beating Nielsen, beating Cumbernauld, getting a draw with Ardrossan, they're on the right trajectory, and I think I'm quite pleased to see that, because I don't like when teams are getting battled every week. But a team that's losing pretty much every week, I mean, you've got to look at Whitlett's there. It's just not getting any better for them, is it?
I know. It's just we spoke about that manager bounce with Nacho going into Darvel, and it just doesn't seem to have happened. I mean, 3 weeks ago they had a really good result against Kilbirnie at home. They beat Crossgates, Primrose, but then they go to Lochar Thistle and they're 2-0 up and get beat 4-3. Then they were 2-0 up against Vale of Clyde and get beat 3-2. And then obviously they've lost yesterday to Peasy, 2-0 at home as well. So I think any kind of small smidgen of hope of them achieving the top 8 is gone, in my opinion. And it's just about next season, and it's just looking at what happens with the managerial situation for next season.
I know the Bens weren't they playing yesterday, or the winning league action yesterday, lost 3-1 to the Med in the Cup. But
we never spoke about that game.
That's enough about it anyway. They're in a really poor season. I know we've touched on it a few times, but that's really no. You look at Petershill, Benburb, and Whitlets that are all in there. That's three teams that you would be expecting if you'd said a year or two ago, the three of them will be in the first division, but the three of them will be up there trying to challenge to win or get out of the league. The three of them are miles off the pace.
Even at the start of the season, I think we probably would have had them all definitely in contention.
Nah, it's a good result for Petershill yesterday, but a really poor season. And Benburb only winning 5 out of 16. It's just it's not good enough.
Aye, and then big game of Friday night, Irvine Meadow via Drawson under the lights. Friday night football.
I think the Meadow will win that one, but it'll be interesting.
His first job.
It'll be interesting though, because as we touched on, Tony's massively experienced, and if anybody can help them get something, then it's definitely him. Did Drawson beat the Med earlier in the season?
I think they did.
That was one of the first games of the season.
1-0 at Meadow Park, I think. We talk about that many games, PG. It's
we lose track.
They all merge into one, right? Okay, mate. Into the second division, we're going to managerial departure. George, my good mate, has left Maybole yesterday after losing 7-2 down at Thrieve. Just a kind of combination of things, really, with his work commitments, etc., is making it more difficult for him. But gutted for him as he's one of my best pals. But good result for Thrieve, just kind of doing the business. I think they were 5-1 up at half time. Just exploited the weaknesses in the Maybole defence and won the game comfortably. But good win for them, especially with Bellshill dropping points and Bonnet dropping points as well.
Aye. It's a shame for George that it's not worked out. Obviously, it was a hard job getting in. I think everybody knew.
I know. I'm in a weird position here right now, PG, because I've obviously I know the inside track, but and like I said, I don't want to say anything bad about MD down at Maybole or anything like that. And plus, I don't want to make it sound like you're making excuses. And I'm very cognizant of the fact that I have a platform that's viewed by hundreds of people every week, and maybe other people don't have that, to get their side of the story out. So I think sometimes the best course of action is just to say all the best and we move on.
Aye, exactly. And it's one of those things. It happens all the time in football, and you just move on for it. But interestingly, up at the top of the table, obviously, Thrieve have dished out the doing to you guys yesterday, but Bellshill dropping points has allowed Thrieve to take top spot again. It's going to be a really interesting finish to them. I still think Thrieve will be the ones that will get it, but it's quite good to see the two of them just going blow for blow with each other. And Blantyre, they've had a good spell since the change of management as well. 6-0 against Forth. I know Forth are having a good season themselves. They're only 1 out of 19. But that's another win for Blantyre, and they seem to be turning it around after a good start to the season.
Yeah, no, definitely. Andy's really kind of settled in there. Do you know what I mean? It's just been pretty smooth sailing, really, since he went in, picked up some good results and getting them into good position in the league. What about Bonnet and losing to Thorn? I was surprised at that. Thorn, that we spoke a couple of weeks ago about maybe they're struggling a wee bit this season, and Bonnet and going well at the top of the league. And Bonnet are in that similar position to Ardrossan, where they've played more games than others because they've got the Astro surface. So they'll be really disappointed to drop 3 points at home to a team that they should probably be taking care of, I would say.
You would think so. Based on form together with both sides, you'd definitely expect to have Bonnet and win at that one. Good result for the Thorn. I'm pleased to see them pick up some points. The games they've obviously played, like you touched on, more games. I'm wondering if that's going to come back and bite them. I don't think it will. I think they'll get promoted, but just looking at the league table just now on the screen, Bonnet have played 20, so only got 10 left. Obviously, Larkhall have played 20 as well. But you look at Cambuslang, who had a good one yesterday. Only 8 points back, but 5 games in hand. There's a few teams about them. I think Maryhill as well will catch them with the games in hand they've got. Les Mahego will catch them. So, it's they maybe need to try and get another 3 or 4 wins, or they're going to be looking over their shoulder later in the season.
I think Cambuslang are the team to watch, to be honest. Gate crash in that top 8, definitely.
Aye, I think so as well. They seem to always just pull out results every now and again. I think they've had a relatively poor season, but they do seem to have enough about them. Also good to see Ashfield.
I see Paul McCall's pal Callum Scott still making a complete holics of refereeing football games as well. So
is that right?
It's all connected. It's all connected.
Whatever.
I know, but Kilsyth Rangers are one that's creeped up with me as well. Sitting now up in 7th again. They've played 20 games, so they played a few more than other teams. But I remember when Danny and Gavin went in there, it was they maybe didn't start as well as they'd hoped, and then they obviously took 10 off Maybole just before Christmas, and they're now sitting in good position at the top end of that league.
Aye, it's that was a good result for them yesterday against Bells Hill. I think obviously we couldn't speak about it last week. Quite a big one for them personally would have been beating Cali Locals. Obviously they left there early in the season, and I get the impression that the Cali Locals weren't too pleased with how they parted. So that was one they probably would have been really keen on winning, but they've had some good wins. They've scored quite a few goals as well recently. I mean, you talk about the 10 against Maybole, but they scored 5 against Cambuslang, 4 against Forth, 3 against the Thorn, 3 against Cali Locals last week. So they're definitely scoring goals, and score goals, you can win games.
Oh, aye, definitely. But we know at this level, that's what it's all about.
Oh, aye.
You know,
it's I'm looking forward to seeing what the average goals was again.
Oh, great this week, to be honest. Just
the that first division done you.
It is mate.
About 3 or 4 1-0s in there, so that done you.
The first division was an absolute shambles this week. When I was counting it up last night, I couldn't believe it. I was actually raging. I could feel my blood pressure going up when I was going through the first division scores. Right, into the third division. I think for me, sorry.
Let's just move on.
Aye, no, let's move on.
Let's move on for the third division. Let's go to fourth.
All right, okay, mate. Okay, aye, sorry. Glasgow Uni and Easterhouse playing Tuesday, which will be a good game. But I think for me, Lugar coming from 2-0 down at half time to beat Ardea 3-2, I think is a really impressive result for Stuart McDuff and the guys at Lugar that have had a tough season this year, but that shows great spirit to come back. But I saw Sean Kenny's interview after the game, and it's funny when you watch Sean's interviews, you can always tell when he's absolutely raging, because the interviewer will ask him the question and it'll take about 5 or 6 seconds for him to answer. Do you know what I mean?
He's trying to compose himself.
Aye, but he must have been dealing with that.
He'll be bitterly disappointed with. Don't get me wrong, like they're sitting just now. I mean, I think this is quite a tight league, and there's 4 years. There's 4 years sitting there with 30 points in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And Ardea could obviously go and turn that around, but any chance they've got to win the league are gone. The Port and Craig Mark seem to, and Knights would have taken 1 game in hand, but Port and Craig Mark seem to just be pushing themselves away from everybody. And Sean will be disappointed because there was real, I'd imagine there was real hope for them at the start of the season with how they started. And it's a great result for Lugar, though. We beat them before Christmas 3-1, but it was a tough game. It wasn't a gimme, and I think on the heavier parks and that, they'll definitely cause teams issues.
Aye, no, definitely. Craig's just saying coaching staff at Yoga are on a sugary peg after yesterday's result. You mentioned Port Glasgow. You were celebrating in one hand and gutted in the other, I suppose, weren't you? Like smiling under your jacket when Port Glasgow scored.
Honestly, it was the Port just, they showed a bit more experience than we did yesterday. They were hungrier for it. We've got quite a young side and we've got good quality in the team, but we lack the experience. And the Port were suitably, I spoke to Tam and Ali after the game yesterday, and I said they were suitably aggressive. They weren't like kicking anybody or anything, but they were very tenacious in everything they were doing. They were just very physical in a fair way. Every time we had the ball, they were right on top of us, and we just couldn't match the aggression for them. And it was a comfortable win for them in the end. I don't think we troubled their goalkeeper at all. their first goal was a bit fortuitous. It was a cross that's just bounced and everybody's missed and it's went straight in. And then the second one, our right backs went to header it and had the old Sheriff badge head and it just went the wrong direction. They went through and scored and then we went down to 10 men. But they deserved their win. They were a better side, and I think that it'll be interesting with them and Craigmark. We've got Craigmark Saturday. Sadly, I can't make it, but the port will be desperate for us to go and do something there. But Craigmark are looking really strong, and an 87th minute winner, I believe it was yesterday as well. So actually,
do you know what you're saying there about the Port Glasgow showing experience? And I think it's funny because the way you describe Port Glasgow is probably similar to how you would describe Craigmark.
Aye.
You know, and that's probably why both those teams are doing so well at the top of the league, because they've got that experience and they've got that nous, if you like, to see those games out and to find that last minute winner when you're maybe not at your best or whatever. But both teams just been massively impressive at the top of the table, and it's looking like a straight fight between those two. But the ball very much still in Craigmark's hands, definitely. Knightswood take care of Glasgow Pershore. Glasgow Pershore 9-0, 8-0 up at half time. What do you say to your team at half time if you're 8-0 down?
I can only imagine what the old man was saying at half time, to be fair. If the way he looks at you just burns a hole in your soul. But Knightswood are a good side. Again, what you're talking about experience there, that's Knightswood have got experience in their team. And I think that it shows. It's probably why the three of them are in the position they're in. They've got good quality, but they've got good experience as well, which we're a young side. Dorai's a relatively young side. Girvan, they looked kind of all right when we played against them, but Ardea as well. I just think that the three of them are probably the three that you'd expect to be up there because of the quality and the experience they've got. Perthshire, I don't know what's going on there. They just won 2 games at 19. We took 6 off them a couple of weeks ago, and they weren't awful, but they weren't very good either. They did give away goals, clearly. Conceded 73 goals in 19 games. It's no great, but it's a good win for Knightswood, and it just keeps it a bit interesting because Knightswood I'd imagine, have still got to play the Port. I think they've got the Port next week, and they seem to have something over the Port. So that'll be a tough game for them. Dorai obviously winning 6-0 yesterday against Kello, which was a good result down there. Was that Chris's last game yesterday then?
I think so. I think so.
Good way to go.
Yeah,
and then obviously
position.
Glenvale beating the Ants. The Ants, it's no really getting any better for them.
Have we spoken about the Ants in the new management team? Did we speak about that 2 weeks ago? I think we did. I think we spoke about Paul McDougall going in there, didn't we?
Aye. So it's a big job he's got in his hands there. It's a really difficult one to try and turn them around, but I suppose you don't have relegation, so he's got time. But 1-1 out of 18 for them is pretty shambolic, to be fair, considering they were in a higher league last season. I
know, and Glasgow United beat 3-2 at home to
Fanart. Good win for Fanart. But Glasgow United we were talking, who was it we said that they don't ever seem to, Nielsen don't ever seem to draw. Glasgow United do have 1 draw, but 6 wins, 1 draw and 11 defeats. So it's good or it's bad for them.
Aye, definitely. But tight at the top, it's going to be really interesting. And I don't know about you, but I think knowing Michael Pender as well at Knightswood, he'll be wanting to just keep winning games and seeing what they can do. Do you know what I mean? Because you never know.
Knightswood have definitely got enough in them to go and put pressure on teams. So I'm looking at it. They actually don't have the Port next week. I'm talking nonsense. I thought I'd heard that at the weekend. They've got the Port next month. They've got Fanart, who you would on paper expect them to win. Dorai will be a tricky one for them in a couple of weeks, but I think they could beat them. Then they've got Easterhouse. Then they've got the Ants. Then they've got the Port. And then final day of the season, they've got Craigmark. So Knightswood still could have a really big say in what happens in the league.
Port Glasgow don't have a game next week, I don't think, in the league. So chance for Craigmark to go back at the top of the table. But your boys will be doing your best to try and
We'll need to do better. We'll need to do better than yesterday.
Aye, but like I said, I don't know, maybe Dom doesn't feel like that, but from the outside looking in, you're further ahead than many would have expected you to be at this point. So
for us, promotion's a very successful season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the ones where it's hard because we were looking like we threw away a lead against Dorai, we threw away a lead against Easterhouse, and then ended up 4 points dropped. And if you don't do that and you get into these games like the Port and Craigmark, you think if we can win them, we're in a real shot at winning the league. But it's really difficult. Like I said, when you've got a young team who aren't as experienced at the level, despite having quality, because we've shown we've got quality. But it's one of the things. We just go again next week and see what happens.
That's it, mate. Okay, into the 4th division, and we've got a new leader at the top of the 4th division. West Park moved.
Came out of nowhere, didn't they?
I know. I think I don't know how many different leaders there's been of the 4th division this year. There's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different leaders, if my maths right, of the 4th division this season.
It's class. I know. I mean, we had Carluke, we had them winning the league, and now they're sitting 8th, struggling to potentially make it into the promotion spot. So it's been a very exciting league. It's because you look at West Park, 40 points, 21 played, Vale Leaving 38, 20 played, East Kilbride YM 37, 19 played, Eglinton still up there with 35, Irvine Vicks with a couple of games in hand on 32, East Kilbride Thistle with quite a few games in hand on 29. See, to be honest, all the way down to Carluke in 8th, I've got a wee outside shot at winning the league. Half the league could, because for talking sake, say Carluke win their 4 games in hand on West Park, they would be a point ahead of West Park.
Mm-hmm.
So it just shows how ridiculously tight that 4th division is.
Mm-hmm. Aye, no, it's good for us. It's good for us to talk about it, though. Some cracking games. Obviously, Irvine Vicks was abandoned after a downpour, I think. Mm-hmm. But great result for EKYM going to BSC. I did get a wee message from Barry. I'll just read it out. He just gave me a wee kind of overview of the game. He was just saying that there wasn't half time 0-0, 60 minutes in, worst case scenario that keeper gets sent off and there's no keeper on the bench. So I think he said the red card changed the game. EKYM found them tough to break down, but you're always going to be up against it. Unfortunately, at this level, the further down you go, it is so difficult to try and get a substitute goalkeeper on the bench.
I know it's one of the awkward positions, isn't it, where if you're not playing, you've got no chance of playing. So a lot of guys won't want to sit about. They would rather just go and play amateur or play with their mates or something instead and play. But it was a good win for EKYM. They're really turning it around after a slow start. Maybe they just took a wee bit of time to find their feet, and now they're right up there. They're right up there with them. The 2 East Kilbride teams are probably my favourites to win the league as it stands right now. I was a bit surprised at Saltcoats losing 3-0 to Giffnock yesterday. I know Giffnock have picked up a wee bit in recent weeks, but Saltcoats have been doing really well this season, and I think that Stevie will be really disappointed that they've lost the opportunity to make it into the promotion spots yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, definitely, especially at home. Well, I say home, that it went apart, went there. So again, maybe that could go against. Do you think that could? I know we say that it could go for them in terms of attracting players, but could it go against them? Because people are going to, away teams like Giffnock who play on Astro every week are going to enjoy going to Winton Park than they would maybe going to Campbell Park.
Aye, definitely. It can be, like you said the other week there, it potentially could help you bring players in and stuff if you're going to be there long term, but you're maybe taking away something that could be a bit of a leveller with the part that they've got. But a good win for Giffnock. Obviously, Campbelltown was off yesterday. Wishaw battered Rossvale. I was a bit surprised that
Wishaw picked up a bit.
I was surprised at the score in that one.
Rossvale seemed to have fell off completely.
Aye.
They've had a couple of sore ones recently. But see, when you're talking about Campbelltown, I had a phone call from the Campbelltown secretary today after our discussion, Campbell Robertson, after our discussion 2 weeks ago about them, and he was just wanting to correct the record to just kind of say there was absolutely no chance of them bringing in like a Glasgow-based team to play in away games and stuff like that. They advertised for a Glasgow-based coach, to come and help them out on away games. Basically, just be there on a Saturday to kind of give them assistance and stuff like that. And they brought in Kenny Robertson, who was involved with the kind of Scottish junior setup and stuff like that. And then I think he'd managed to source a couple of players that was going to help them out and stuff like that. But he said that he was just wanting to say there was genuinely never any thought of having a Glasgow-based team.
Do you know, that almost sounds like they've had they're trying to have some form of Glasgow-based team when they come up here. That's almost what that sounds like. I know, I get what Camo's saying, that it's maybe inadvertently I've exaggerated the point, which was not my intention. But they're trying to bring in a coach to help out. They're trying to bring in players when they're playing up there. It does sound a bit like almost that.
Well, I don't think they're trying to bring in players. I think the coach had said, I could maybe get some players. You know what I mean? That's the way that Campbell had said it to me. So I don't think they're not actively trying to recruit boys in Glasgow to try and play in the games. Is what he was saying. Like, they're just, all their boys are kind of local. And we had a good discussion. He was talking, because it was good to find out, because I know that you'd said about, like, are they going to keep going, like keep doing it and stuff like that, and he was just saying, no, like, he says they've got great sponsorship, they've got good backing up there, they've got good crowd, they've got good crowds in the local area and stuff like that. So they've got their own bus. There's no issues with finances. So they know they're having a really disappointing season this year, but they're definitely in it for the long term, the long haul kind of thing, and they're in a really good place as a club. You know, maybe not on the park, but off the park, they're in a really good place. So there's no concerns with that kind of stuff. And the point he made to me was, if we were to go to the amateurs, we'd just be in the same position. You know what I mean? Because we'd have to go and join the Caledonian League, or do you know what I mean? Something like that. So it's just exactly the same. So it was a really good conversation. I said to him, I says, look, this is great, because we have discussions on the show, and we put things out there, and we hear things from people, and we hear rumours and hearsay, and we just talk about it. We're no journalists. We're just two guys that love the level and love just talking about what we hear. So if someone wants to correct us and kind of tell us where we've said we've got something incorrect, then we're more than happy to do so.
Definitely. Look, that's the thing is, I've been down to Campbelltown when I took my amateur team and really enjoyed it. Really like I've met Campbell as well, and he's a really nice guy. But I'm just looking at it. In 4 seasons, they've won 14 games. So I don't want Campbelltown to, like, it's no saying this as if I want Campbelltown not to be in the setup, but just I appreciate they've went through the right channels, and it's the league that have brought them in. It's not to do with Campbelltown, so it's no their issue that I'm saying.
But could you not say the same for Wishaw, or like, do you know what I mean? Like Lugar, St Ants, do you know what I mean? Like the seasons they're having as well. I know BSC did go away last season. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you see what I mean? I think that's the kind of maybe the point.
No, I get what you're saying. I just think that you look at what the first season was 20. So 4 years they've been in the setup, and this isn't a pure bash Campbelltown, right? Because this is actually more aimed at the league for bringing them in. But you've got the travel, the expenses it costs other teams having to go there. Then you've got they've played 60, 80 to 92. So they played 97 games at a level and won 14. And it's like, again, it's not their fault. They've applied and went right through the channels and done everything properly and wished them well with it. But it's one of the ones where I feel like I know you have like East Stirling and stuff where they were bottom of the league every year for years, and the old third division and stuff like that. And somebody has to be bottom of the league, but I feel that it's not really worth having them in the league. It's costs a lot of money, and again, I keep saying it, it's no aimed at Campbelltown. I mean, no harm to Campbelltown with it, but it's just, I just don't think it's great, to be honest with you, how it's gone for them. And 9 goals in 15 games, conceded 59 this season. Aye, it's no great, is it?
I'm just going to turn my phone off.
Aye, I'm sorry, Campbell. Sorry.
I'll just send them your number. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to send them your number and they can get in touch with you. But no, it's just, listen, do you know the thing is that about that is the guy sticking up for his club and he obviously
100%, aye.
And do you know what I mean? And fair play to them. And they're contributing to the level by fulfilling their fixtures and being competitive and stuff like that. So, or try to be competitive, then aye, it's all good. But it was just to correct a couple of things and set the record straight, which we're always happy to do.
Yeah, definitely. So please, Campbell, do not take this as me having a go against Campbelltown. It's not been great for you, and I hope it does pick up.
Aye, that's it. Listen, I hope it does. That'd be good.
We hate when, like with last season with BSC, it was horrible. Don't like seeing it with teams to anybody. Wishaw have the shocking couple of years as well, like you touched on. You don't
even Craig Mark 2 years ago, you know.
That was brutal again. Last year, aye, you just don't want to see it for teams. You want everybody to be competitive, and hopefully they can come and be competitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Just one wee thing before we finish up. Just Craig's just talking about the AI club, Saltire City, have decided to go into the south rather than the west.
Interesting. I just see if I don't know if it's Paul Davies that does the stuff with Saltire City. I know he's like the manager. I don't know if he does.
Who's Paul Davies for?
He was New Main's manager years back, and did the Down in Divisions podcast that was about the lower league, about the juniors and stuff. See, for anybody using ChatGPT, see if you don't want to be caught, make sure you take the double what's it called? Double dash it, right? Because it's a giveaway that you're using ChatGPT. So take it out if you're going to use it, and punt it off as your own stuff. Just a word of warning to you, right? Because it's so blatantly obvious when you do it. But it's weird. It's weird that how's it going to work? I heard that they were like letting AI pick their team and all that.
I don't know. I don't have genuinely any idea. Listen, I suppose the good thing is we don't need to care now because they're going to the south of Scotland. So, but it's just going to be. It's so much travel.
I know.
You know, how do you get boys to sign up for that? And Craig's made the point about them going into south of Scotland tier 6 and rather than coming into the west of Scotland at tier 10. But it depends what their ambitions are, and like you said, the travelling that it's going to involve.
It's similar to, in a sense, where we're just obviously talking about Campbelltown, and teams are having to travel to them every other week. And I wonder if teams in the south, are they going to be happy having to go and play a Glasgow-based team or a West-based team? Sorry, should I say? And the league, I don't know. I'm actually intrigued to see how it's going to go because it's interesting.
Aye, well, the league's let them in, so
I know. That's the thing. It's not the clubs. The clubs have to go and try and get into leagues. You know what I mean? It's up to the league to decide what's best for them.
Mm-hmm. Aye, I see. I'm just looking at the social media there. I see they've started signing players and stuff like that as well. So,
aye. Do you see the double dash in the captions?
I've not seen it. No. But aye, it's interesting, but it'll be an interesting one to see. But Josh is just saying there, it's basically what Threave have done, but vice versa. But I don't know. I don't know if the south. I don't know if south of Scotland's worth the hassle, to be honest.
See, for me with Threave, right, I've said it loads of times. And obviously Josh has brought the point up. Thanks for watching, Josh. I appreciate it, mate.
Josh managed down there though as well, didn't he?
So Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, was it St Cuthbert's, I think it was, maybe. But I don't get why Threave came in, because they've made the route harder.
Aye.
Like, because with that team they've got, they would squish that south of Scotland, and then you only need to win a couple of games to get yourself into the loan league. This doesn't make sense. But don't get me wrong, they're one for me who, even though we have the travelling again, talking about Campbelltown, they've added a lot to the level. They've been a great addition in terms of the quality and making leagues interesting and stuff like that.
George couldn't speak highly enough of the place yesterday when he was down there. I know it's off the back of a 7-2 defeat, so you're maybe not in the best of moods. But it was just saying like the crowd, and then they had like he estimated about 100 people in the bar after the game, and then everybody had to get out because there was a function coming in at 6 o'clock, which is then going to raise more money for them, and do you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So it's just a fantastic setup down there.
Brilliant.
What he did say though was the spread after the game was disappointing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's poor.
See, we can say these things now. I can say these things now because I'm not attached to a club anymore.
See, the thing is, you love when you get good grub after that. I always remember when I was at Co-Winning, we were ranked rotten and get relegated, but the curly fries we had after it were unbelievable. It was brilliant. You still love them.
Where's the best one you've had? Bell's Hill was a really good one. Bell's Hill was a really good one that I really enjoyed. But apparently it was 4 different types of cheeses down at Thrieve yesterday.
Oh, that's pretentious, isn't it?
But it's just surrounded by farms, isn't it, down there, I would assume, so...
Do you know what? See, to be honest, like, ours isn't that fancy. It's no fancy at all at Yoker. But I quite like yours. Do you know what we have? We have, like, it's like 3 or 4 different pizzas you get. Sausage rolls, pies, and then they always have yum-yums and donuts for Greg's.
Oh, brilliant.
I think it's not bad.
Lithgow was good when we were up there.
Oh, aye, that was good, aye. That was a decent spread. Do you know, that may be one of the best ones I've been to. That was good.
Pasties and pizzas and stuff like that. It was good. But Craig's in there next season. The South guaranteed 1 promotion spot, the same as the West.
Honestly, Thrieve would be in the loan league.
I know.
And
I think they would do all right in it as well. Well,
they're a good side.
They need to invest and stuff like that, and no let your favourite players move to Australia and stuff like that.
Oh, no. Not been the same with them.
Well, it was all right yesterday. I know. Right, mate, anything else you want to touch on before we go?
Nope. Just looking forward to seeing what the results are with Talbot and Johnson Burr again on Wednesday. That'll be interesting.
That'll be good. And again, the Meda Winton game on Friday night, I think that'll be good. Mm-hmm. It's good Friday night football. What's your thoughts on that? Getting the games on Friday night under lights?
I think it's brilliant. Mm-hmm. I think that it's good that the league are so happy to have Friday night games, because remember years gone by, you didn't really get that stuff. And
the thing was with Kenny though, and again, I don't want to speak for him, but see if both clubs are happy, Kenny will do it.
I know.
See if both clubs go and say we want to play at 3 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, as long as everybody's happy, Kenny will do it. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
It's just he's so accommodating when it comes to stuff like that. That's why I hate when people levy things at him that he favours other teams over others and stuff like that. He's got an impossible job trying to arrange all these cup fixtures, and he does a great job at accommodating things like that. So the Friday night stuff, there'll be a great crowd up there on Friday night. That'll be a cracking crowd.
Aye, Friday night games are great, and it's really, people want to go. Seeing a Friday night, people do want to go to the football, and you can have a couple of beers, and it's a good atmosphere to go. So I think that's a positive that we get as much of that as we can.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how the Johnston Borough Auchinleck game comes out as well.
It'll be interesting. It's going to have big impact on, particularly the Borough for me. If they win, they put themselves in a really good position in terms of points. And if the Talbot win, then is it maybe a wee bit too far for the Borough based on the amount of games they've got in such a short period of time?
It's funny because we fall into this trap, and I'm guilty. I'm as guilty of it as anybody. Like, you tend to just think things are done. You know what I mean? But there's always no. You know, like, I know we've spoken about it before, but things like Irvine Meadow and stuff like that, and you just never know. There's still so many games to get played. Talbot's 20 plus games. Johnston Borough is the same. You know, there's going to be so many twists and turns.
That is the thing. It's a real 6-pointer. If the Borough win, the Borough go 4 points behind the Talbot with 2 games in hand. But if the Talbot win, then the Talbot are, I'm saying, 7. Actually, they go 4 points behind. The Talbot win, they go 10 points clear. And it's only 2 games in hand. And it becomes a real different way to navigate it, because, like you said, I mean, the Borough have still got 19 games to go. It's a lot. I know they've got great backing and they've got a really good squad, but for guys who are working during the day and then having to go to football and stuff, they play 19, well, they'll have cup games as well. To play over 20 games in the space of 2.5 months, it's a lot of football, and it takes a big toll on the body as well. So that's why I think that they have to win it. I know people might disagree with me, but I think they have to win it
Oh no, I think so too. I think they need to win it more psychologically more than anything else. You know, personally, I think it's really important that they win it, and I think they're capable. You know what I mean? I really do.
They definitely are.
The quality they've got on their side, I really do.
Aye.
No, it'll be a cracker. Be a good one. Enjoy if you're going along on Wednesday night, and we will be back next Sunday. I will be here. No, nothing else planned. I will be here with a manager in tow. Don't know who yet, but I'll dig into my wee black book and I'll see if I can find a gaffer that's wanting to come on. I was thinking about asking Ross to come on for Muir Cup, but I think I'll wait until after the semi-final. Because no, they play on Sunday, so I don't think he'll want to come on if he's.
Josh is sliding into the DMs there, so he obviously wants to get himself back in the scene, doesn't he?
Josh is just Mr. Reliable, though. Do you know what I mean? I can message Josh at 12:15 on a Sunday and ask him to come on at 7:00 that night, and I know he'd be up for it because he's such a loyal friend to the show, and it's much appreciated. But thanks for joining us, PG, again. Like I said, apologies for last week, and it's good to be back. Always loads to talk about in the west of Scotland. Thoroughly enjoyed your company this evening.
Thanks for having me. I do enjoy getting my it's not bi-weekly or bi-fortnightly.
No, I would call it bi-weekly.
Is it? Okay.
I'll just call it fortnightly.
Fortnightly. My fortnightly appearance is always appreciated. Aye. So cheers for having us and thanks for watching.
No, absolutely. Again, as PG says, thanks very much to everybody that has watched us tonight and engaged with us. Your comments, questions are always much appreciated. It really means a lot to us. And if you are watching us, please hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the Pyramid Promotions channel. If you're listening to us on audio, then please download and rate and review on your podcast networks. We have been sponsored by Roxburgh Insurance Brokers, GLA Chauffeurs, VSN Sport, and you can re-listen to this show on East End Community Radio on a Tuesday evening, PG, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Which is absolutely superb. And if you want some more West of Scotland Football League news, you can catch me on Now Ayrshire Radio at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Right, PG, I said I was a wee bit disappointed. The First Division has absolutely killed us. 126 goals in 36 games. Do you know what? It shows you what the standards that we have in the West of Scotland, that we're disappointed with an average of 3.5 goals a game.
I know. You know? It's disappointing when it drops below 4, isn't it?
Oh, I hate it.
We don't like it.
And I knew it was coming when I was typing it in, because usually the goal, it needs to be about 134, 135 round about there. So I knew it was disappointing. So I think Eglinton and Royal Albert 0-0 draw not good enough. So get your fingers out next week, please. Connor Whitelaw and Kevin Deeney, you have been warned. Okay, until next week, I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks everybody for watching and taking part. I've been Jonny Bailey. He's been PG. Take care of yourselves and each other. Cheers.
See you later.